Hello, devoted fans of heartbreak, betrayal, and those delicious twists that keep us up at night. It's us, your unapologetic guides through the tangled web of passion and peril on the day's Drama Digest channel. We're the voices in the dark, the ones who dissect every stolen glance, every whispered secret, and every shattering revelation that unfolds in the sun-drenched streets of Salem. Today, on this crisp December 8, 2025, the sands of time have shifted once more on Days of Our Lives, delivering an episode so thick with suspense, so laced with raw emotion, that it feels like the very fabric of our favorite families is fraying at the edges. If you dared to blink and miss even a second of today's Causto's frantic searches, those venomous confrontations, those gut-wrenching disappearances, pull up a chair, dim the lights, and let us pull you back into the storm. This isn't just a recap, it's a resurrection of the drama you crave. Hit play on our full breakdown video below, because what we're about to unravel will leave you breathless, questioning alliances, and desperately awaiting tomorrow's dose of demerit, deceit, and Horton heartache. Welcome back to The Edge, Salem lovers. Let's dive in. Oh, where to begin in a world where love is a battlefield and trust is the first casualty? Our episode opens in the shadowy underbelly of the Demera Empire, where the air hangs heavy with the scent of aged leather, flickering candlelight, and the metallic tang of unspoken fears. Chad Dimer, a brooding hero with eyes like storm clouds and a heart scarred by too many losses, vanished into the ether, leaving a void that sucks the oxygen from everyone who dares to care. Picture it, the grand halls of the Demera mansion, once a bastion of opulent power plays, now echo with the frantic footsteps of a family on the brink. Kristen Demera, that fiery redhead whose loyalty burns hotter than hellfire, paces like a caged panther, her designer heels clicking against the marble floors like gunfire in the night. Beside her, Tony Demera, elegant, tormented, forever the reluctant keeping clutches a crystal tumbler of scotch, his knuckles white as he stares into the abyss of unanswered questions. Where is he, Tony? Where in God's name is Chad gone? Kristen's voice cracks, a rare vulnerability slipping through her ironclad facade, her manicured nails digging into her palms until they draw tiny crescents of blood. The search has consumed them all day, Salem's elite turning over every stone from the fog-shrouded docks to the neon-lit back alleys of the town square. E.J. Demera, ever the calculating patriarch, has mobilized a shadowy network of informants, barking orders into encrypted phones while his own secrets fester like open wounds. Even Abigail's ghost seems to linger in the ether, whispering accusations that Chad's disappearance is no accident, it's a curse. A Demera reckoning long overdue. But as the clock ticks mercilessly toward midnight, the real torment unfolds not in the grand gestures, but in the intimate despair of those left behind. Chad, our vanished prince, isn't lounging in some tropical hideaway nursing a pina colada. No. He's ensnared in a nightmare of his own macking gore, perhaps one orchestrated by forces far more sinister. Holed up in a derelict safe house on the outskirts of town, its walls peeling like old skin and the air thick with the musty rot of forgotten dreams. Chad hunches over a scarred wooden table, scribbling feverishly on a crumpled napkin. Escape plans, mad, desperate sketches of sewer routes, bribe guards, and midnight exfiltrations spill across the page like the frantic beats of a trapped animal's heart. It's here, in the suffocating limbo, that Chad reaches out through his smuggled burner phone, his voice a gravelly whisper laced with exhaustion and defiance. Kristen. Tony. I can't stay like this. They're closing in ages, men, or worse, whatever's pulling the strings from the shadows. His words tumble out in a torrent, painting vivid pictures of his captivity, blindfolded abductions under the cover of a blood moon, interrogations that blur the line between reality and hallucination, and the gnawing certainty that freedom is a mirage just beyond his grasp. Kristen, on the other end, grips the phone like a lifeline, her breath hitching as she envisions her brother's torment. Tell us everything, Chad. Every detail. We'll get you out, have to. Tony, leaning in close, his aristocratic features twisted in anguish, interjects with calculated precision. Roots? Allies? We can reroute through the old Carver tunnel. Spalina owes me a favor from that mess with Lonnie years back, but as the conversation stretches into the witching hour, frustration mounts like a gathering storm. Chad's strategies clash against Tony's pragmatism, Kristen's impulsiveness sparking arguments that echo the family's fractured legacy. You're thinking like a prisoner, Chadnita Demera. Kristen snaps, her voice a whip crack. We fight dirty, we win dirty, yet no solution crystallizes. The plans dissolve into a haze of what-ifs and recriminations, leaving them all hollowed out, staring at the glowing screen as if it holds the key to salvation. And then the twist that sends chills racing down our spines like icy fingers, as dawn's first light filters through the safe house's grimy window, casting long shadows that dance like specters. Chad's gaze snags on a figure slumped in the corner, bound and battered. Theo Carver. Theo, the prodigal son. The quiet genius with a mind sharper than a scalpel and a heart weighed down by the ghosts of his own making. How did he get here? Was it coincidence? Or the cruel hand of fate weaving their disappearances into a tapestry of terror? Chad's breath catches, his escape fantasies shattering against the reality of shared captivity. Theo? God, no. Not you two. The young man's eyes flutter open, bruised and bewildered, murmuring fragments of a night gone horribly wrong. In that moment, the Demara's private hell collides with the Carver's enduring legacy of loss, binding to families in a pact of desperation. But what has orchestrated this unholy reunion? As the episode teases, the crypt awaits, its stone walls whispering promises of deeper darkness. Shifting gears to the heart-wrenching ripple effects tearing through the Carver clan, we find ourselves in the warm, cluttered kitchen of the Carver home, a sanctuary of faded family photos, steaming pots of Paulina's legendary gumbo, and the kind of love that weathers Salem's storms like an ancient oak. Abe Carver, Salem's steadfast mayor with his silver fox charm and unyielding moral compass, slumps at the table, his cell phone clutched in a death grip. The screen stares back mockingly. Call after unanswered call to his son Theo piling up like indictments in a corrupt courtroom. Come on, son. Pick up. Just let me know you're safe. Abe's voice, usually a booming anchor for the city, trembles now, laced with the raw terror of a father who's buried too many hopes already. Theo's second date with Jada Hunter's no-nonsense detective whose steel spine hides a vulnerability as vast as the Pacific looms large in Abe's mind, a beacon of normalcy in their chaotic world. But as the hours drag on, that beacon flickers, threatening to extinguish in the gale of uncertainty. Paulina Price Carter, Abe's fiery soulmate with her unfiltered wit and heart as big as her wardrobe of bold prints, hovers like a guardian angel with a switchblade edge. She slides a mug of chamomile tea across the table, her bangles jingling like wind chimes in a hurricane. Abe, honey, sit. Breathe. Theo's a grown man, he's probably just lost in that trivia night at the pub, charming the socks off some poor soul with his facts about quantum physics, or whatever nerdy thing tickles him pink. But even Paulina's optimism frays at the edges. Her eyes, sharp as a hawk's, catch the tremor in Abe's hands, the way his jaw clenches like he's biting back a scream. Their conversation earlier that evening replays in Abe's mind like a looped nightmare. A heated fun exchange with Theo, words flying like shrapnel. Dad, I can't just drop everything for your mayoral dramahata and I, this is us. Not some subplot in your political chess game. Theo's voice had crackled with youthful defiance, laced with the undercurrent of old wound car accident that stole his innocence. The therapies that rebuilt him piece by fractured piece. Paulina had overheard snippets, her ear pressed to the door, heart pounding as she pieced together the signs of an argument brewing like thunderheads. Raised voices, slammed drawers. The unmistakable click of a door shutting to hard. He'll come around, Abe. Our boy's got your stubborn streak and my fire is just testing the waters. But her words ring hollow now, drowned out by the deafening silence of Theo's absence. Across town, at the raucous heart of Doug's Plesseith pub where Salem's secrets slosh around in pint glasses, and the jukebox croons forgotten ballads Gabby Hernandez and Philip Kiriakis nurse their worries amid the trivia night's cacophony. Gabby, the fierce fashionista turned reluctant confidant, slams her fist on the sticky bar top, her dark eyes flashing like polished obsidian. This isn't like Theo. He lives for these nights quoting Shakespeare 1 minute, dissecting black holes the next. And now? Poof. Vanished like smoke, Philip. The Kiriakis heir with his chiseled jaw and perpetual smirk masking deeper scars, nods grimly, swirling his whiskey neat. As co-hosts of the evening's brain-busting trivia gauntlet, they had clocked Theo's arrival, windswept hair, boyish grin, a notebook crammed with arcane knowledge tucked under his arm. He bantered effortlessly with the crowd, his laughter cutting through the din like a lighthouse beam, all while stealing glances at his phone, anticipation buzzing for Jada's arrival. But as the final round rapid teams erupting in cheers over a tea breaker, on obscure Roman Emperor Theo slipped away. A quick bathroom break, he'd said. That was hours ago. Jada, meanwhile, arrives at the pub like a thunderclap, her detective's badge glinting under the neon glow. Her second date ensemble, a sleek black dress that hugs her athletic from betraying none of the butterflies riding in her stomach. She's early, armed with a bouquet of wildflowers pilfered from the town square and a playlist of soulful R&B, humming in her earbuds. Visions of intellectual sparring and stolen kisses dancing in her head. Theo's texts had been electric all week, can't wait to crush trivia and then crush on you even more. But the bar stool sits empty, the air thick with the scent of spilled beer and regret. Her calls go straight to voicemail, each unanswered ring twisting the knife deeper. Sheriff Hunter to dispatch her and a trace on Theo Carver's last known location. Now, Jada's voice is steel, but her eyes betray the storm, fear, fury. The gnawing doubt that this failure of a date is no mere ghosting, but something far more malevolent. As the pieces Gabi's frantic recounting, Philip's uneasy alliance in the search. Jada's instincts ignite. She rallies the troops, her sheriff's authority cutting through the pub's haze like a siren's wail. Salem's underbelly stirs, patrols double, shadows lengthen, and the hunt begins in earnest. Little do they know, Theo's fate is sealed in stone and silence, kidnapped in a blur of chloroform-soaked rags and gloved hands, dragged through the misty backstreets to the foreboding crypt beneath St. Luke's Church. There, amid cobweb-draped sarcophagi and the faint drip of subterranean water, he stirs in chains, the crypt's chill seeping into his bones like a lover's betrayal. Who holds the key to his prison? The episode leaves us dangling hearts and throats as the Carver's world teeters on oblivion's edge. But oh, darlings, if the Carver's anguish is a slow-burning fuse, then the DiMera inferno explodes with Kat Matthews' audacious Gambita plot twist so serpentine, so laced with psychological venom, that it redefines obsession in the annals of Salem scheming. Enter Kat, the enigmatic vixen with porcelain skin, raven hair cascading like midnight silk, and eyes that pierce souls like diamond-tipped arrows. She's no mere interloper, she's a phantom from EJ's past, materializing in the opulent sprawl of the DiMera mansion, like a ghost summoned from Italian catacombs. The night prior, under the guise of a reconciliatory nightcap, Kat had slipped a vial's worth of her special elixir into EJ's Bordeaux colorless, odorless concoction brewed in the shadowy labs of a long-forgotten clinic in Tuscany. Was it a sedative to dull his defenses? A hallucinogen to unravel his composure? Or whisper it now with bated breath the fabled truth serum, alchemical brew that loosens tongues and bears souls, forcing confessions from lips sealed tighter than a pharaoh's tomb? As the first rays of December's pale sun infiltrate the mansion's velvet-draped study, E.J. DiMera stirs on the leather chaise, his tailored suit rumpled, his chiseled features slack with the remnants of chemical surrender. His head throbs like a war drum, visions flickering at the edges, fragmented memories of Kat's laughter, low and throaty, mingling with the clink of glasses, the brush of her fingers against his wrist, electric as a live wire, and then, nothing. Blackness. Now, as clarity creeps in like a thief, he finds her there perched on the edge of his desk, rifling through drawers with the casual predation of a fox in a henhouse. Papers rustle, old ledgers from the clinic, faded photos of a younger EJ entangled in Mediterranean intrigue, scribbled notes hinting at experiments that blurred the line between medicine and madness. Rise and shine, Elvis, Kat purrs, her voice a velvet blade, not bothering to look up as she pockets a manila envelope yellowed with age. We have so much to discuss. Starting with why you look at me like I'm the ghost of affairs past. EJ bolts a pray, his emerald eyes narrowing to slits, a flush of embarrassment warring with indignation on his patrician face. Kat, what the devil how did you? His words slur at the edges, the drug's afterglow muddling his silver tongue, but he rallies, straightening his cuffs with the practiced arrogance of a man who's stared down empires. I'm exhausted, that's all. Late night at the office, mergers and acquisitions Sai wouldn't understand. It's a lie as thin as gossamer, and they both know it. Kat circles him slowly, her heels echoing like a metronome of doom. Her perfume a heady mix of jasmine and gunpowder enveloping him like a fog. She leans in close, her breath warm against his ear, fingers tracing the line of his jaw with feather-light menace. Exhausted? Darling, you were singing Verdi arias in your sleep, and muttering about connections. Italian connections. Ring any bells, the clinic, nestled in the rolling hills of Umbria, where EJ had sought experimental treatments for his fractured psyche years ago. Therapies that promised to mend the boy broken by Stefano's iron fist. It was there, in sterile white rooms echoing with the hum of MRI machines and the drip of IVs, that their paths had first crossed. Kat, the brilliant pharmacologist with a penchant for ethical gray areas, EJ, the lost heir grasping for control. A stolen weekend in a villa overlooking olive groves. Bodies entwined in sheets scented with lavender and record duty called him back to Salem, leaving her with a vendetta wrapped in silk. The revelation hits EJ like a freight train, his mind reeling from the drug's insidious pull. Flashes assault him, her face in the clinic's corridors. The way she dosed his sessions with enhancements that amplified desires. Unearthed buried traumas. It was nothing. A fling. A mistake, but his voice wavers. The truth serum, or whatever diabolical variant she's perfected coaxing traitorous admissions from his throat. The clinic. You knew about the experiments. Stefano's legacy, the neural rewiring. You were part of it. Kat's smile is a crescent moon, sharp and unforgiving, as she presses a finger to his lips. Part. Oh, EJ, I architected it. And now? Your obsession is my greatest asset. She uses it masterfully, weaving flattery with threats, dangling the promise of rediscovered passion like bait on a hook. As he grapples with the haunting echo of their shared history, the way her touch ignites memories. He buried under layers of DiMera denial. Kat advances her agenda with surgical precision, Clues pilfered from the mansion fuel her clandestine plot, a map to hidden Demera vaults, encrypted drive revealing offshore accounts tied to the clinic's black market dealings. Is she after revenge for their abandoned romance? Financial ruin for the empire that discarded her? Or something more insidious, a bid to resurrect Stefana's ghost through biochemical puppetry, turning EJ into her unwitting marionette? The mansion becomes a pressure cooker of paranoia. EJ's haunted gaze following Kat's every sway as she saunters toward the door, envelope in hand. Sleep it off, lover. We'll pick this up where we left off in Italy, perhaps. Or right here, in the ruins of your resolve. He collapses back, pulse thundering, the drug's haze mingling with a toxic brew of desire and dread. How deep does their connection run? Will he succumb to her siren call, betraying family for a phantom of the past? The episode masterfully leaves us suspended, the air crackling with the promise of explosions yet to come. And yet, as these threads of torment intertwine, etched in Theo's crypt-bound alliance, a powder keg waiting for a spark, the Carver's frantic vigil, a symphony of shattered hopes. Kat's serpentine seduction ensnaring EJ in webs of his own, weaving true genius of today's days of our lives lies in its unrelenting pulse. Salem isn't just a town, it's a living, breathing beast, devouring its children and spitting out survivors forged in fire. Abe's worry etches new lines on his face, a map of paternal fears. Helena's comfort masks her own terror, her prayers whispered to saints who long ago abandoned this cursed corner of the world. Jada's action hero resolve cracks just enough to reveal the woman beneath, her day-night dreams curdling into detectives' nightmares. Gabby and Philip, unlikely bedfellows in grief, forge a tentative truce over shared shots at the bar, their banner laced with the bitter aftertaste of what-ifs. Kristen and Tony, pacing the mansion's halls like ghosts themselves, clash and cling, their sibling bond a lifeline in the gathering dark. What does tomorrow hold? Will Chad and Theo's surprise reunion birth a daring breakout, or seal their fates in the crypt's unyielding embrace? Can Jada's sheriff's badge pierce the veil of Theo's abduction before the kidnapper's motives revenge? Ransom. Something biblical unleash hell on the Carvers? And Ijo, tormented edge, will he unravel Kat's sneaky plans, exposing the clinic's skeletons and reclaiming his soul, or will her obsession consume him, turning the Demera throne into a pyre of his own making? The drama coils tighter, the stakes soar higher, and we, the faithful, are left ravenous for more. There you have it. Drama Devotees, a whirlwind tour through December 8th's labyrinth of lies and longing, expanded into the epic saga it deserves. If this teaser has your heart racing and your mind reeling, subscribe to today's Drama Digest for the unfiltered deep dives, exclusive fan theories, and behind-the-scenes scoops that keep the Salem fire alive. Drop your predictions in the comments. Who's behind Theo's kidnapping? Will Kat break EJ for good? Like, share, and smash that bell because in Salem, missing a beat can mean missing the explosion. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.